Like many of you, I too have a dream to buy a Royal Enfield. It's not like I'm a fanboy. I've ridden KTMs, Triumphs, and other Japanese motorcycles, but it is the Royal Enfield that I feel attracted or attached to. But since I already have a motorcycle that is just 5 years old, I do not wish to upgrade at the moment. And if I had to buy a new motorcycle, I have to sell my FZS, which I cannot convince myself to do. And if I buy a new Royal Enfield, I'll have two motorcycles in my parking, and my building parking is not the best. It has no shaded parking, the bike covers get stolen, and kids mess around with the switch gears. Therefore, my FZS is all I have at the moment, but I still wanted a taste of a Royal Enfield. So I looked up online and found out about Royal Enfield rentals in my hometown Goa. This was perfect. I could get a feel of owning a Royal Enfield and touring with it. First, I had to decide on which bike I should take. I was inclined towards the Bullet and the Classic 350, but they had spoke wheels and tube type tires. I didn't want a headache of punctures while touring, so I considered the Meteor 350 as well, since it has tubeless tires. But when I took a test ride, I felt that the suspension setup was stiff and the riding position transferred all the bumps and potholes straight to my lower back. So the Meteor was off my list, and I have 90% made up my mind to take the Classic. I took a leave from work and headed to Goa. I went to the Royal Enfield Garage Cafe that is in Baga. I've made a dedicated video on it, link to that would be in the description. I checked all the bikes they were offering on rent. They had the Hunter and Classic for 1200, the Himalayan 411 and Scram for 1400, and the Interceptor 650 for 1800. Sadly, the new models like the Bullet, Himalayan 450, and the Super Meteor 650 were not given on rent. I was already inclined towards the Classic, so I took it for 3 days initially. I got the chrome red 2022 model with touring seats added. I took the bike home and was very excited for the ride next day. And seeing a Royal Enfield parked out of my window was a beautiful feeling. On the first day, I traveled to Panjim and Old Goa since I wanted to get familiar with the bike. And the Classic 350 is a very beginner friendly motorcycle. You will get accustomed to the power, riding ergonomics, and weight very soon. Now it was time to test it on the highway. On the second day, I planned for South Goa. I rode to Colva beach and the neighboring villages. It felt like the Classic was built purposefully for Goa. It handles the twisty roads of Goa so well and can cruise effortlessly on third gear without a need to downshift. I've watched many reviews that state that the Classic has an uncomfortable riding position for long rides and the Meteor is a better option for touring. But for me, it was the complete opposite. I had taken a test ride of the Meteor and found out that the suspension setup was stiff and it would be tiresome to take it for a long ride. I have made a separate video on the Meteor 350 and you can check it out on my channel. On the other hand, I found out that the Classic to be touring friendly. The riding position was nice, the seat was wide with sufficient cushion, and the suspension setup was perfectly tuned for comfort. I did not do a long tour with it as it was a rental bike and can be used only within the state of Goa. But I believe a 1000 kilometer trip would not be difficult with the Classic. The particular model that I rented had a Royal Enfield touring seat which was nicely padded and comfortable, but it was in the shape of a bucket, so you kind of get locked in one position without room to move your butt around when you feel fatigue. Coming to the things that could have been better, the clutch is on the heaviest side, so if you're coming from a Honda or a Suzuki that has a light clutch, you may find riding the Classic tiresome. My FZS as well has a hard clutch, so it was not really a change for me for riding the Classic. But like its competitors, the Honda 350s, even the Classic should be given a zipper clutch. Second thing is the placement of the foot pegs. It is placed at a 90-degree angle, so when you put your foot down while riding in traffic, it comes in your way. Third thing is the tube type tires, and that you can get to add alloy wheels and tubeless tires only on the top end models. So if you buy the base models like the Heritage or Heritage Premium, you cannot buy the alloy wheels as an accessory from the showroom. Or you'll need to buy the dark variant of a Classic 350 that comes with alloy wheels and tubeless tires as standard. These are the cons that I could come up with. Now my 3 days with the bike were over and it was time to return the bike. But I could not let go. This is the charm that the Classic has. I convinced myself to have it for just one more day. I once again rode it to South Goa, stopped at a cafe for breakfast, and kept on staring at this red chrome beauty, hoping and waiting for the day I'll get it to buy it for myself. Thanks for watching.